What's going on, campers? My name is CARLTON Cullins, and today we're going to go way back to 1986 when I was about 12 years old in Lindale, Texas, and I first started weightlifting. This is a good beginner workout. I was interested in not being bullied. I was interested in playing sports and looking more athletic. Yes, most of the stuff you're going to see in this video are things that I actually did almost 40 years ago, but it will still work well now. I have made some modern adjustments, but understand this was made for a beginner weightlifter, the first year or two working out at home with minimal equipment. You should be healthy when you do this. You should be able to balance on both legs like I'm doing right now. You should be able to easily squat down low with no pain. You should be able to do some backwards lunges and not fall over. You should be able to put your arms overhead with a straight back. You should be able to jump and land correctly. These are things that are important now. Big thing. I'm real big on not wearing shoes or wearing flat shoes. A lot of modern shoes have heel lifts. Don't wear shoes with heel lifts. Now, let's get to equipment. The first thing I want you to have is a jump rope. Any jump rope will do, just a good solid jump rope. Very important. We're going to use that to warm up in some of your cardio. The next thing is I want you to have a barbell. I used a curl bar. You could use a straight bar, anything you got. Adjustable weights are great. Now I'm showing you barbells that I have in the background that are Olympic size. There's two different sizes of barbells. You can know this by the plates. One has a small hole and one has a bigger hole. The bigger hole is Olympic. The other is called a standard. Doesn't matter. Just make sure that your plates and your bar line up. And next thing I want you to have are some alternatives. I would like for you to have something you could do a pull-up on. I have some gymnastic rings you can get on Amazon. I've got some little playground rings right here that I'm doing pull-ups on. But I started off on a pull-up bar and monkey bars in my backyard. So I had this old pull-up bar. Anything that you can do a pull-up on safely will work. That's very important. You can get door jams. I like to have a 2x4 that's cut like this so you can put it underneath your heels. It helps you squat very low. That could be useful. And I also have what they call an ab wheel. It's a very simple device. You can get an old one, a new one, but we're going to basically do core exercise with that. It's a really good, cool thing to have. It works really, really well. So the first thing I want to talk about is the importance of warming up before you exercise. Everybody needs to warm up. I suggest learning how to jump rope. Jump rope is worth its weight in gold. If you've never jumped rope before, it can be humbling, it can be difficult, but stay with it. It may take a few weeks, even up to a month or two, but you just string it together. You learn to do 10 seconds, a minute, a couple of minutes, and just do at least 5 minutes, even if you have to stop a bunch. About 5 minutes will be really good for a warm-up. I'm demonstrating a bunch of different techniques in the beginning. Just start off with the very, very basic. Just get 2 feet underneath you, and you can progress from there. The best thing about jump rope is you get better the more you do it, and it's basically a fountain of youth exercise. I do want to include 1 second exercise as part of your warm-up, and basically we're going to do a full squat and lift your arms overhead. You can do it with just your body weight, or you can do it with a weight. Both are good, doesn't matter. Just do one of them. It is important that you learn to squat and learn to squat deeply without pain. But this is a great warm-up because you're working out your lower body and your upper body. As far as how much to do, just to do about 1 minute, as many as you can do, slow and controlled with perfect form. So here's where the workout actually begins. We're going to begin with pull-ups because they are one of the hardest exercises to do. You need a lot of energy to do them. If you cannot do a full pull-up, you need to find a way to do a modified pull-up. This may mean putting a chair or a bench underneath you so you can put your feet on it to help you cheat up. You could use rubber bands. Look on the internet. There's lots of ways to do this, but you need to be able to get to the top and you need to be able to come down slow, controlled. So I'm using the gymnastic rings. You could use a straight bar. Use whatever you got. Do them and do them well. As soon as you finish your pull-ups, you're going to do a second exercise. This exercise is called a rear elevated split squat. We're going to pair these together and do them back to back. When you do that, it's called a superset and makes the best use of your time. I'm doing both sides. You need a soft bench. You're going to do one leg and then you're going to do the other just like I'm doing them here. If you don't have a bench, you could also do walking lunges. I prefer walking lunges to do them an even number out and an even number back. If you do an odd number out and odd number back, you're going to have to remember what leg it on. It gets complicated, but do not skip legs. Now we're moving to the next exercise. You could include this in the superset that you just did, or you could do this by itself. We need to do an upper body push. This is a basic push-up. There's lots and lots of different versions of push-up. Do whatever one you can do, and there's plenty of ways for a whole lifetime to make them harder. I'm showing you a few variations right here. This one they call a judo push-up. It's a great push-up. There's lots of different versions you can do. Find one that works. Now, if you want to do another upper body exercise, you could use your barbell. I didn't have a bench growing up. That's why I'm not doing a bench here. This is called a floor press. It's a little bit more involved, but I did a lot of these growing up. You need to be able to set the weight down when you're done safely. If you cannot do that, do not do these. Now, I did them on the floor. Eventually, I got a bench, and I used a bench. Eventually, I got a bench with a rack. So there's lots of options. This bench right here, obviously, I don't have a rack. So when I get done with this, even when I begin, I have to pick the weight up. I have to put it overhead. When I'm done, I have to put it away safely. You may not be able to do that. If you can't do that, you need to make sure you just do push-ups. And there are plenty of ways to do push-ups. Push-ups will work really, really well. So now we're moving to the fourth exercise. You are going to pair this up with one other exercise, and we're going to do these back to back. So I'm taking a barbell. You could take 2 dumbbells. It'll work the same. We're going overhead. Overhead means over the top of your head, not in front of your face. You're going over your head. This is called an overhead press or a military press. We're going to immediately go from this to a bent over row. So that was a push. Now we're going to go to a pull. So I'm going to lean over, knees are slightly bent, back stays straight. Most important, you're going to pull this to your belly button. You could use dumbbells or a barbell, but you're going to do an equal amount of push and pull. Pairing these up together, again, is called a superset and makes the best use of your time. Now we're at the 5th exercise and the 3rd superset. We're going to do this with another exercise paired up. So this, we're going to do a bicep curl. This is one that not everybody's going to want to do, but as a young boy, I was definitely interested in building up my arms. And I built up really good arms in junior high and high school by doing barbell curls. Now I do these, and when I come down slow, and I try to straighten my arms out on the way down. Going down slow is going to get a lot of mileage. They call that the negative or the eccentric. It's a great way to build up your biceps. But the arm is composed of a lot of muscles. Bicep is the front part, but you've also got the back of the arm called the tricep. So I supersetted this, and I immediately go after. I'm going to bring the weight overhead, and this is called a French press. This is going to work the triceps. You need to go lighter and slower on this one because this one can be a little tricky on the elbows. But I lower the weight down very slowly. I press it to overhead, straight arms at the top. But I do that very slowly. I pair that. I do these back to back. You should be able to do equal amounts, equal reps on both of these exercises. Is a great way to build up your arms quite quickly. Keep your back straight. Always protect your back. Finally, we're at the end of the workout. This is the last little exercise. We're going to work the core. I am using the ab wheel. Notice my form on these. My butt is staying squeezed the entire time. That protects the back. I would only go out about half the distance that I'm going out here. I know it looks easy. It's not easy. Go at half the distance and practice coming back. You're probably going to get sore from these the first few times you do it. Just be prepared. It's a great exercise using the ab wheel. If you don't have an ab wheel, here's what I recommend doing. This is an exercise called the jackknife. This is basically what I call a modified jackknife. You're going to come in the air. I put my hands down. I know it looks like it's cheating, but I'm doing that so that I can keep my back straight. I don't like rounding the back. But notice that to make this harder, my feet never touch the ground. You can touch the ground if you need to. You can make it harder by not doing that. This is a great exercise. The main thing on this one is when you come back to lay down, come back slowly. Now we're finishing the workout with a cool down, and I just recommend doing a simple stretch I call the CARLTON's Super Stretch. You're basically going to get in a squat position deep. You're going to hold on to something, feet stay flat, back stay straight, and just move side to side and kind of stretch out. Once you get comfortable with that, see, I'm straightening out my legs. You're going to straighten out your legs, keep your back straight. Doing that is hard. Now I'm leaning, pushing my butt back. I'm straightening and stretching everything in my body. This will be harder than you think. I'm waving back and forth. Now I'm squatting, straightening out my knees, bringing my toes up and swinging side to side because it stretches out my lower body and my upper body. These will take time. Do what you can, but do a few of these. Do about 10, 20 of these at the end of your workouts. It'll help loosen you up. You'll feel better. And you need to do these because this is as part of what they call a cool down. And most people skip this stuff, but it will make you feel better. Then staying flexible is probably one of the most important things you can do out of all the things you do in fitness. We've pretty much reached the end. That concludes the exercise part. Now I want to go over the important details that I didn't go over earlier, and hopefully this will answer most of your basic questions. This whole workout should take you, I'd say, anywhere between 30 and 45 minutes. Don't get in a habit of working out longer than 45 minutes. I do not think it has a lot of value. I don't want you to get in the habit of thinking more is better. I think you'll find out over time, and trust me on this, that less is better, less is more. Now, if there was one rule, it's this: avoid pain. If something hurts, something doesn't feel right, something seems off, you want to get that checked out, figure out what it is, get it fixed, and do not work through pain. Pain is to be avoided. Very important. Next thing is to move slowly, especially in the beginning with all of these exercises. You're not going to be good at everything. Don't be in a hurry to move faster, to do more reps, and to add more weight. Master body weight and master the exercises using light weight first. So to do that, you need to move slowly, progress slowly over time, and progress intelligently. Use that beautiful brain of yours. Now, everything that I showed you in the video, all the exercises, it's one complete workout. It's a full body, total body workout. It's not meant to be split up and do it on different days. It's all going to be done on the same day. How many days a week do you want to do this? I would say at least 2 days a week with at least 1 day of rest in between. You can do it 3 days a week. I did it when I was younger. I do it now. But the same rule applies. If you do 3 days a week, you want to have at least 1 day of rest in between. Now, for all these exercises, as far as reps and sets go, you're going to do 3 sets of all of these exercises. The reps are going to range anywhere between 5 and 15 reps. Don't make that complicated. Some exercises you're going to do less, some you're going to do more. If you want to push harder, do that on the last set, the third set. You want to add a little bit more weight, do a few more reps, do that on the last set only. Do arms and your core ab exercises. Do those at the end. Don't do them in the beginning. Get all your other stuff done first. Never skip legs. Sleep is very important. So is food. You want to make sure that you get enough protein, veggies, fruit, all that's important. If you're really thin, eat more carbs. If you're not thin, eat less carbs. Keep it simple.